which reflect their source, they are not really interdependent upon each other, nor are they capable of deterioration or death, and therefore there is no need to eat to survive. All of this is dependent upon your arriving at the realization and then the experience of the fact that everything, all things, are ideas. Right now. Form is not evil, and formlessness is not divine. And they are not juxtaposed against each other for you to make a choice between. Everything is formless in the sense of being non-material. And every single thing, being an idea, in the mind of God, is always fulfilling God's purpose. What you call forms are far more capable of fluidity, movement, and of course indestructibility than you can imagine. You think your body serves you, but your body serves God. The idea serves the intent God has set in place for that which you call body. It is helpful to you to make a shift from body identification to mind identification if you will not look at everything, not have a mindset that you are looking at your world from your body, but instead observe your body and observe your world from a place that you could call the observing self. Because your body and your world and universe are all going on within the mind that you are, the observing self, the conscious awareness. I encourage all of you to explore the state of mind from which you engage in your day as though you are it, the observing mind. Pure conscious awareness in which all the things to be conscious of are going on, but which you are not. Now, I don't mean to be confusing here. Everything embraced in mind is some aspect of the infinitude of that mind. But right now you are all identifying very specifically with one specific form. and you have lost your experience of infinite embrace. You feel tiny. You feel as though you are in time and space. Immeasurably huge space. And yet this immeasurably huge space is actually residing in you as conscious awareness. That's the formless. Not only that, it's residing there as ideas which are perfectly real and tangible to the mind that formed them. They're just not there as matter. They're just not there as defenses or things to be defended against. Are you getting what I'm meaning?
Yes. You're using the word formless because speaking to minds that identify the forms as matter rather than the mind substance that they are. Is that right?
Yes.
I think I'm still getting hung up on why you're saying mind is formless.
It has no boundaries.
But it's not unformed.
Mind, show me the form of consciousness.
Creation?
Creation is going on in mind.
But there's no such thing as a mind without the creation.
Indeed, that would be a state of unconsciousness, wouldn't it? A mind with nothing to be conscious of is unconsciousness. Is your mind round, rectangular? Is it a globe, or is it an infinite flat sheet? It is formless.
But it's not absent of the forms that are within it.
That's right, because that would be, again, a state of unconsciousness or non-existence.
Okay.
You are at peace? With no yes buts?
Keep him going. It's hard to get him to talk about metaphysics.
Would you then give more clues about experiencing the infinity of mind?
More clues. That is all I am doing. You must understand that what is causing everything to appear to be matter is the fact that you have chosen to look at all of the ideas that populate the formless mind. You've chosen to look at them privately, alone. You have said, I'd rather look at everything my way, Father. I'd rather look at it with my mind, the one that's inside this skull here. I'd like to look at it my way, on my terms, and give it the meanings I want to give it. And I want to do this so that I can experience private authority. Now, if you want the kingdom of heaven, if you want creation, if you want to experience creation as it is, as ideas, you're going to have to abandon your decision to try to have a point of view of your own privately. In the act of inviting the source of all that is back into your awareness, you succeed in abandoning your commitment to a private personal viewpoint about everything. And reality becomes illuminated as what it is. And I've described that you will begin to see it as light streaming off of the edges of things and so on. That's the beginning of the experience of the leaf or whatever it is that light is streaming off of. That's the beginning of the experience of that thing as an idea without material accompaniments, but still perfectly recognizable and tangible, meaningful to the mind that formed them. God reveals the experience of everything as an idea when you invite God back in. You all think of light as white as a general rule. Sunshine is white. But light has colors to it. And I will tell you, they're not the sorts of colors in the spectrum that you're used to seeing. There are hues that you cannot imagine. And the hues have meaning. And the way different hues of colored light, if I may put it that way, the different juxtapositions of colored light express the incredible beauty of the content of the meaning that the Father is expressing as that object. And everyone, I'm going to put it this way, everyone knows how to decipher that, except there really isn't a process of deciphering it. When you wake up, you will recognize all of the subtlety of meaning that is embodied in each and every idea without your having to go through a re-educational process to learn what those meanings are. You have not lost your divine capacity to experience reality as it is, even though you have blocked the experience of it by virtue of wanting to try to give it meaning all by yourself. So the meaning you're looking for in your question is something that you will find being illumined in you as you invite God back into the picture and persist in wanting to yield to His perspective until your commitment to your own ego perceptions becomes weak enough, disintegrated enough to collapse. When the Course says that God takes the last step, that's what it involves.
So I just have one little thing. I don't want to take everyone's time here. I love that. The part that tweaks me, or that I don't get, is why did mind, which became specifically identified, why did it want to have a personal, private, viewpoint of its own, which, when I hear that, it makes me think that the nature of mind is to then twist into itself in a weird way.
Well, why make a microscope? Why make an electron microscope? Why narrow down the vision as small as you can possibly get? Or why build a telescope to expand the range, the scope of vision, as much as you can? You could say that consciousness, mind, is made up of 4 dimensions. Which are capable of being explored. But as you abandon the 4th for the 3rd, you lose the perspective of the 4th. And if you abandon the 3rd for the 2nd, you lose the perspective of the 3rd and 4th. It can be done. They are available to be explored. As you do it, though, there is, for lack of better words, always the potential for becoming distracted by the difference in the experience and potentially becoming obsessed with trying to understand the experience from its level, which is all that's happened. Simply put. And so now you might say, here is my voice from the 4th dimension saying, hey guys, time to come home. Come on, follow my voice. Yield to it even though you don't know where it's coming from and even though you have no tangible evidence that it's even real. Hey, I'm over here, you see. And so then you have to feel your way back on faith. Because the parameters that make the 4th dimension real are not recognized in the 3rd. Now I'm putting it in very simplistic terms. Having shifted from the 4th dimensional conscious experience of being to the 3rd dimensional conscious experience of being is something that every single individuality can do. The fact that it occurred and you got trapped by preoccupation with the difference between being infinite and being finite, is not a sin. It has been called the fall. To become preoccupied with the third dimensional frame of reference to the point of embracing it and trying to work according to its rules, together with the ever-present inner sanity that you have that says this is not your natural dimension of experiencing being, causes you to experience fear and defensiveness, which are antithetical to the, I'm going to say, the unstructured, trusting, unconditionally open elements that characterize the fourth dimensional conscious experience of being. And so I'm having to inspire, to the best of my ability, your capacity to trust and to be unconditionally open without life-saving control, so that you prime yourself for a shift of perception. To answer your question, it happened because it could happen. Fellow says, I want to go into the forest that I've never been in before. He's likely to get lost. And he can get lost. If he gets lost, it's because he could get lost. If somebody is going to go into the forest that they've never been in before, one might suggest that you take a very long rope, and so that you have something to follow to get back out of the forest, or to make marks on the trees so that you have a path back out. If you haven't done that, you can get lost. You would say, well, how did you get lost? How could you get lost? Well, you could get lost because you could get lost. Having gotten lost is not a sin. Having succumbed to the limits of the lesser dimension and not trusting enough to get back out has constituted ultimately a denial of the fourth dimension, or a denial of God. And this has even been called an attack on God in A Course in Miracles. There's a reason for using those words. It is so that you might see that the methods you are employing for your growth, as well as for survival, constitute a practice that denies you the recognition of the way out of your dilemma. To call it an attack on God is a use of words that causes you to really question whether that's what you would want to be doing. And then if you decide that that's not what you would want to be doing, then you have the motivation for finding the path out. And so now, where before you were unconscious of getting out at all, because you thought this is all there was, now you know there is some place to get out to, and you have the motivation for doing whatever is necessary to get out.
And the out is here.
Pardon?
The out is here. We're not going somewhere else.
That's right. Exactly. The out is getting out of a very confined perception of something that's infinite, right here. What you're getting out of are the definitions you and others mutually have given to everything, and which it's important for you to maintain, because that's what allows all of you undependable, fearful individualities to work together in some sort of harmony. You all know you're undependable and untrustworthy because you are in a constant state of fear, and so you have all found the best means you could to arrive at a certain degree of peace with each other that allows you to be more comfortable, to experience comfort. But if you abandon those definitions which you believe are holding your safety together, you're going to be absolutely reluctant to do it. And that's what I'm faced with, finding a way to communicate to you the safety of doing. In other words, I have to find a way to communicate to you that if you abandon your definitions because you are inviting in to your experience the mind of the source of all that is, you will not experience vulnerability. You will experience safety, and you will experience the inspiration of truth and love that will allow you to behave with your brothers and sisters in a way that doesn't threaten them as you walk out of the illusion, and will allow you to be the inspiration for them doing likewise.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You are welcome. Is it possible for anyone to have any question after that answer? I see hands. The lady right here.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
So I didn't get that answer, although I tried. I think I probably have a rather personal question. I think I've been a spiritual seeker since I remember myself.